So now we'll go for the other term. For example, myocardial infarction. For example, this term is there. So in this, the first one, we can see it as myo, that is prefix, and cardium, this is suffix, and infarction. Now here myo means muscle, cardium means heart. Now heart muscle, we'll call it as myocardium. And infarction means occlusion or blockage. So occlusion or blockage of blood supply to the heart muscle. So that we'll call it as myocardial infarction. Now in the same way, can you tell me what is pericardium? How can you split this? Pericardium. Pericardium.
Yeah.
So peri is
Peri means outside.
peri means this is a prefix, and
Cardium.
cardium is suffix. So peri means outer, that is outer layer, that is heart. So outer layer of heart, we'll call it as pericardium. Now if we take another term, cardiomyopathy, can you split this and tell me the meaning? So,
Cardio is prefix.
okay.
Myo.
Myo is root word
Pati.
and pathy is suffix. So cardio, this is prefix. Cardio means heart, and myo means muscle, and pathy means diseased condition. So disease condition. So disease condition of heart muscle, we'll call it as cardiomyopathy. Okay. Now we'll see another term. That is, for example, bronchitis is there. Now how can you split this? One is bronchus, that is prefix, and itis is suffix. Now here bronchus means part of a lung, and itis means inflammation. So inflammation of bronchus, we'll call it as bronchitis. Okay. Now you can see thrombophlebitis. Now this is important one. You can mark this because this you'll be getting in the exam. Thrombophlebitis. Now here, how can we split this? Thrombus and phleb and itis. Itis means inflammation. Thrombus means, what is meant by thrombus? It is blood clot. It is inflammation of veins. Phleb means vein and itis means inflammation. So now can you club this and tell me what is the meaning of this?
Inflammation.
Inflammation in with the blood clot in the veins.
Yeah. Inflammation of veins because of blood clots. Inflammation of veins because of blood clots. So that is thrombophlebitis. So you can mark this. This definitely you will be getting in the exam. And
సో మీరు ఇది పంపిస్తారా అండి మాకు ఇప్పుడు మీరు చెప్పేదంతా నోట్స్
ఇప్పుడు రికార్డ్ చేస్తున్నాం.
ఓకే గుడ్ థ్యాంక్ యూ అండి.
Okay. Now we can take another term, that is phlebotomy. Phlebotomy. Now you can split this into two parts, that is phleb and otomy. So what is meant by otomy? In the last session we have discussed this. What is meant by otomy? Otomy
Cutting.
means incision or cutting,
Incision cutting.
and phleb means vein. So phlebotomy means incision of vein. We'll call it as phlebotomy. Next, hysterectomy. Now, hysterectomy, you can split this into two parts, that is hystero, that is prefix, and ectomy, that is suffix. Now, hystero means uterus, and ectomy means surgical removal. So, surgical removal of uterus, we'll call it as hysterectomy. Now, salpingectomy. Salpingectomy. Now, here this is two terms here, salpingo, that is prefix, and ectomy, that is suffix. Now, salpingo means fallopian tubes, and ectomy, what is the meaning of ectomy? It is surgical removal. So, surgical removal of fallopian tubes, we will call it as salpingectomy. Next, oophorectomy. Oophorectomy. Now, here oophorectomy means oophoro and ectomy. So, you can split this into two parts. Now, oophoro means ovaries, and ectomy means again surgical removal. So, surgical removal of ovaries, we'll call it as salpingectomy. Okay, these three terms are very important: hysterectomy, salpingectomy, and oophorectomy. Now, here oophorectomy, oophoro means ovaries, and surgical removal of ovaries. We'll call it as oophorectomy. In this way, you can take a number of terms. We'll take few more terms here. For example, claviculectomy is there. Now, what is meant by claviculectomy? Claviculectomy. So, what is meant by clavicle? Any idea what is clavicle? Clavicle means it's a collarbone. It's a bone, collarbone. We can also call this clavicle as a collarbone. And ectomy means surgical removal of clavicle. So that is claviculectomy.
So in this case, collarbone means clavi claviculectomy అంటే మనము సారీ రిమూవల్ ఆఫ్ కాలర్ బోన్
Yeah,
సర్జికల్ రిమూవల్ ఆఫ్ కాలర్
yeah,
బోన్ సో విల్ రిమూవ్ దట్ సింపుల్
yes,
ఓకే
yes, yes. Next, we can take another term, lithotripsy. Lithotripsy. Already we have discussed about lith. So we can split into two parts, that is lith and tripsy. So lith means stone and tripsy means crushing. So crushing of stone, we'll call it as lithotripsy. So where the stone will be, it will be in the kidneys. So generally when the patient is having the kidney stones, they'll be performing this lithotripsy procedure. Now, mastectomy. So, mastectomy means mast is prefix and ectomy means surgical removal. Mast means it is breast cells, or better we can say breast tissues, and ectomy means removal. So, removal of breast tissues. We'll call it as mastectomy. Next, colonoscopy. Colonoscopy. Now here we can split this into two parts, that is colon and the suffix is scopy. Now colon means it is intestine. Colon means intestine and scopy means viewing. So viewing of intestine through a scope, we call it as colonoscopy. Now colectomy. Now colectomy. Now colectomy means colon and ectomy. And here colon means it is intestine and ectomy means surgical removal. So surgical removal of intestine, we'll call it as colectomy. Okay, colonoscopy and colectomy. Now, colitis. So can you try it? Colitis.
Colon,
Colon,
colonitis.
colon, and itis. So colon means what? It is intestine. And itis means inflammation. Now, inflammation of intestine, we'll call it as colitis. Next, colposcopy. Now, colposcopy. Colpo is prefix and scopy is suffix. Colpo means vagina and scopy means viewing through a scope. So viewing through a scope, we'll call it as colposcopy. Now this is also, you can mark this one also. This is also important for your exam. Most of the times you'll be getting this one in the medical terminology part. So viewing of vagina through a scope. So that we'll call it as colonoscopy. Sorry, colposcopy. Now colporrhaphy. Colporrhaphy. Now you can split this into two parts, that is colpo and raphy. This is raphy means surgical suturing, and colpo means vagina. So surgical suturing of vagina, we'll call it as colporrhaphy.
What is suturing?
Surgical suturing.
Stitches, I think.
Yeah, stitches.
Stitching.
See what happens
Oh.
is when the female patient, when they're getting they're undergoing the delivery. After the delivery, there will be some tear off at the vaginal area, so they'll be stitching it again. So that will call it as surgical suturing of vagina after the deliveries. Okay. So I think you understood about prefix and suffixes. So how we need to take it. So any term, whenever you're coming across any kind of term, always you need to try to split it into two parts. So then it will be easier for you to understand exactly what is that medical terminology term. Okay. Are you clear?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is for the medical terminology. And then we'll be moving for general coding guidelines. General coding guidelines. Or before this, first we need to understand how to use the books. how to use the books, and how to search the codes. How to search the codes in the book, the code book. So before that, you need to understand few terms here. So whenever you're searching in the codes, you need to understand what sets will be there in this ICD-10. So when you clearly observe in these ICD-10 code books, you'll be having two parts. That is, the first part, we'll call it as alphabetical index. First part, we'll call it as alphabetical index. And the second part, we'll call it as tabular list. So alphabetical index and tabular list. Now we'll try to search few codes here. Now you have the PDFs with you, right? Hello. Hello.
Yeah, yes, Andy.
Yeah.
Just open your ICD book. There are two parts. So you have only one part, right? Fine. Now, whenever you're searching any term, for example, we are going for a very small term now. For example, lobar pneumonia is there. You want to search this term, lobar pneumonia. Lobar pneumonia. Now, first thing is you need to understand clearly what is the main term and subterm. Main term and subterm. Now, here main term means this is the actual problem in that phrase. Now, here in this phrase, lobar pneumonia phrase. So, what is the main problem here? Pneumonia is the main problem. And the lobar is an explanation of this main term. So, here the main term will be pneumonia and subterm will be lobar. So what you need to do is you need to first search for the pneumonia, and under that you need to check for the lobar. Okay. Now if you go to the code books, now if you want to search this pneumonia here, this will be just like a dictionary. The alphabetical order you will be having. Now this is what called the index part. Now it is starting with the A series. It is started with A series. Now you can see it here. This is the A series. And when you go down, you need to go in the alphabetical order. Now if you go down, you need to go till P series. Now if you're going down, now it is in the P series. Now here we have got pneumonia, right? Pneumonia.
Mhm.
Okay. Now in this pneumonia, what is the other specification here? Under pneumonia, you need to check for the lobar. Now under this, again we need to go in the alphabetical order. Now this is in the A series. Under this pneumonia, it is in the A series. Now in the same way, you need to go for the L. So till here, it is ending with only broncho here. So still it is at the B. Now you need to search here. Now after this, we have got C. And after C, we have got D, then E, then F, G, H, I. If you go down like that, here you have got low bar. Now you can see it here, the low bar.
Mhm.
Okay. Now this is your code. J18.1 is your code. Got it?
Yeah.
Now here J18.1 is your code. Now what we need to do is, now only half of the part is finished. J18.1. Now you need to pick this code and you need to confirm this code in the tabular list. Now where is the tabular list? If you go down, now these are the tabular list. The descriptions will be like this. So the entire description about the code will be there in the tabular list. So J18.1. Now here it is. Are you able to see this?
Yes.
Yes. This is lobar pneumonia. So this is your code. Okay. J18.1. So always you need to remember that you need to confirm the code after looking at the tabular list. You should not confirm the code by seeing the index. Okay. Finally, you need to check in the tabular list, then only you need to confirm it. Okay. Now this is a very simple one, lobar pneumonia we have taken. Now we'll go for the bit complex one. Let's take another example. Fracture of left distal tibia. Fracture of left distal tibia. Now can you tell me what is the main term in this fracture of left distal tibia? Main term.
Fracture.
Main,
Fracture, I think.
yeah.
Fracture.
Main term will be always the actual problem. Now here fracture of left distal tibia, out of this phrases, fracture is the actual problem. So fracture will be the main term. So you need to start searching the code with the main term. So where we need to go? We need to go for the fracture here. Now let's go for the fracture here in the index. Now here we have got F. In the F series, we are searching for the fracture. Now here we have got fracture traumatic. Now here we have got fracture traumatic. Now under this, we need to check for left distal tibia. So what is the main part under fracture? It is tibia. Now under this fracture, we need to search for tibia. Now if you go in an order, now here the T series is started. Now here we have got tibia. Under fracture, we have got tibia. Okay. So under tibia, what is the more specification? Again, distal, fracture of left distal tibia.
Just
So what is meant by distal? Here you need to understand what is meant by distal. Now there are three terms here. You need to remember whenever you're coding for bones. Suppose The bone is there like this. Okay. Suppose the bone is there like this. See, the upper end, we'll call it as proximal. This upper end, this part we'll call it as proximal, and the lower end, we'll call it as distal. So this lower end, we'll call it as distal, and the middle part, we'll call it as shaft. So there are three parts here: proximal, distal, and shaft. Okay. Now here, I have mentioned here distal. That means it is a lower end. Distal means lower end. Now here, we are going again here. Now under this tibia, you are checking for distal. Now under tibia, if you are checking the distal, here it is there, the distal end. But the code is, it is not showing the code here. So instead of that, what it is showing, you need to see at fracture tibia lower end. Okay. This hyphen C, we'll call it as carry over line. This hyphen C, we'll call it as carry over line. That means it will be guiding us. If the code is not available here, it will be guiding us to see where exactly. Okay. So what it is asking to see fracture tibia lower end. Now already we are under fracture. Fracture tibia, and under tibia you need to check for lower end. So where is the lower end? Lower end is here. Okay. So your code is S82.30. Okay. Now you need to pick this code, and where we need to search? In the tabular list. S82.30. Now we need to go for S82.30 in the tabular list.
So every time do we need to check two places?
Yes, in the tabular list we need to check it. Now you are going to understand why we need to check it here.
Okay.
Now here you have got the code S82.30, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have got the code here S82.30. Now when you are picking up any code from the tabular list, always you need to check on the left hand side. Now when you check in the left hand side, it is showing the sixth digit. So here when we are picking this code S82.30, how many digits we have here? We have only 5 digits. So it is asking to add the sixth digit. So that means sixth digit is required for this code. So this is an incomplete code. You need to add the sixth digit in order to make it complete. Now sixth digit, where it is, now here we have six digits here, 1, 2 and 9. So S82.301 is one set, and S82.302 is another set, and S82.309 is another set. Now when you are selecting this sixth character, suppose if it is at the right tibia, the fracture is at right tibia, then you need to select the 1 as the sixth character. Suppose if it is at the left tibia, you need to select 2 as the sixth character. And if nothing is specified, whether it is left side or right side, then you need to take the 9 as the sixth character. Now in this case, what I have selected here, what I have given here, left side. So which one you need to select? You need to select S82.302. Okay. So S82.302 we need to select. Now here, this seventh character. Now again, when you are selecting this code, again it is asking for this seventh character, but the seventh character is not available here. Just like this sixth character is available here, the seventh character is not available here. Now your code is S82.302. Now you need to search for the seventh character. Now seventh character, where we will be getting? So wherever this series has started, this S82 series has started, there you need to go at that initial point. There only you'll be getting this seventh character. Now we will go there, S82 series. Now if you go up, now S82 series. Now here it has started S82. Here it has started. And under that, if you are checking here, now here it is mentioned the appropriate seventh character is to be added to all codes from category S82. Now seventh characters are alphabets here. So I didn't mention anything whether what type of fracture it is and in which scenario the patient is coming to the hospital. I didn't mention anything. So we are taking A as a initial encounter for closed fracture. If nothing is mentioned, you can take it as A. So I didn't mention anything here. So we are considering A as a seventh character. Now you got this one right. Appropriate seventh character is to be added to all codes from category S82. Now your seventh character is A. So what will be your final code? S82.302A. So your final code is S82.302A. So this will be your final code. So how many characters you have got? 7 characters you have got. Is it clear? Any doubt in this?
No.
Now check for the other code. I'll give you one example here. Fracture of right proximal humerus. Now can you try for this? Fracture of right proximal humerus. Will you try or shall I explain you this one also?
You can explain one more time.
Okay, fine. Now what is the main term in this? Fracture of right proximal humerus. Fracture is a main term. Now first one, we are going for the fracture here. Now under the fracture traumatic, I need to go for humerus. Under fracture, it is at F. So you need to go for H. Here it is, humerus. Now here it is, humerus is here. Okay. Now under humerus, what we need to search here? Fracture we have searched and humerus we have searched. Under humerus, we need to check for proximal. Now here under humerus, we need to go for the proximal here. Now here it is, proximal end. Now see fracture humerus lower end, upper end. So it is asking to see at fracture humerus upper end. Now here fracture humerus and under this you need to check for upper end. Now here it is upper end. If you go down, here we have the upper end. S42.20. Now you need to pick this code S42.40, S42.20 and you need to check in the tabular list. S42.20.
Can you please mute everyone?
Sorry?
No, some disturbance is coming, so if everyone is muted, it will be good.
Now here we have got S42 series, S42.20. Now here it is, S42.20, unspecified fracture of upper end of humerus. Now again, when you are seeing this, again it is asking for the sixth character here. Now here we have only 5 digits, so it is asking for sixth character. So sixth character, we need to search it from here, 1, 2 or 9. Now what is the scenario given here? It is a right proximal humerus. Now it is at the right side. Now this one is at the right side, right humerus. So you need to select 1 as the sixth character. So your code is S42.201. Now you need to S42.201. Again, it is showing for the seventh character. It is asking for the seventh character here. So seventh character, where we'll be getting S42 series, where it has started, there we'll be getting. Now we need to go for the S42 here. Now here it has started S42 series. Under S42, we have here the appropriate seventh character is to be added to all codes from the category S42. So here I didn't mention anything, so you need to consider it as A as the seventh character. So what is the final code? S42.401A. So S42.201A. So this is your code. S42.201A. Got it? You clear? Or do you want me to explain one more?
Yes, please.
Now we'll take one more term. Let's say laceration of left cheek. Laceration of left cheek. Now here, what is the main term here? Here left cheek is the anatomical term. So you need to remember anatomical term can never be a main term. Main term will be always the abnormal condition or a problem. Now here the problem is laceration. So you need to go for the laceration, that is the main term.
Don't we have a PDF search option here? Like if we enter one letter, it will go take us there, right?
See, here we are learning how to search the code. Starting only, you are going for the shortcut. So first thing is you need to understand how to search it. No?
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, I can show you a tool that can finish it within a minute.
Okay.
So here we have got the laceration here. Under this laceration, now we need to go for the cheek. Now here it is a cheek. So S01.41. S01.41. Now we need to check in the tabular list S01.41. Now here this is S01.41. Now this is the code we have got. Again, it is asking for the sixth character here. So we need to check the sixth character here, 1, 2, and 9. We need to select from this. So here, what is the description? Left cheek. So left cheek means here it is. So your code is S01.412. Now again, it is asking for the seventh character. So we need to go for S01 series where it has started. Now here it has started here S01 series. Under this, the appropriate seventh character is to be added to each code from the category S01. So I didn't mention whether it is the first visit, second visit, or after a few years or months. Now I am taking here as initial encounter by default. So here what will be the code? S01.412A. So that will be your code. S01.412A. Now you got it? Now directly if you want to search the code, laceration cheek. So directly you will get it here. Now here it is a code. Laceration without foreign body of left cheek and temporomandibular area, initial encounter. But here the motive is you need to search the codes with books. Because in the exam you will not be given with the software and tools. So that's why I'm explaining you clearly. Okay? You got it?
Yeah.
Now, I'll give you a few terms that you need to practice it today and we'll discuss it tomorrow with the answers. Just note down. Fracture of proximal left tibia and open fracture of proximal left fibula. Hypertensive gastropathy. Laceration of right forearm. Just try these four terms for today. Okay? Hello. Hello. Yeah, you can practice it today. and get back to me tomorrow in the session. Tomorrow session we'll discuss about all these things.
Okay.
Fine. So try to search these codes properly. See, don't apply any kind of shortcuts. Try to use the books. Even if you're checking in the Google, you'll find the codes, but try to search in the books.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you.
Yeah. We'll connect tomorrow at the same time. And if you have any queries, just ping me on WhatsApp in your group.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
See
you.
you. See you tomorrow.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Bye bye.